Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 99 of the Purple Hyacinth podcast on the story tinker, Imploring Intuition. And today we have Inspirashamul and Fwoot.
What's up?
Hey.
Yep, and it's a treat to have Inspirashamul because, as you all know, Inspirashamul has his own YouTube channel that covers Purple Hyacinth. He does much shorter recaps. So if you not stand to listen for an hour, you can listen for 5 to 10 minutes to Inspirashamul's Purple Hyacinth recaps, and it's always great. You bring out interesting points. I always enjoy listening to it like the day after the episode is published. So thank you, and definitely go check his channel out.
Thank you.
Okay, so we ended off last episode with the very alarming arrest of Lune by Kim, and Kim raising her gun at Lune. And we speculated last time what was going to happen. I must say that like what I thought was going to happen actually did happen. I wanted a confrontation emotionally. I wanted them to talk, but I figured they would just escape again. And that is what happens because Will says, hands up in the air. Now he has his gun up too. The APD will be here any minute. We don't want to fight. Drop your weapons. Cooperate and everything will go smoothly. So being all intimidating, Lauren puts her hands up, kind of gives a look at Keiran because they are not going down without effect. And we have Will saying again, I said, drop your weapons. So clearly they're not exactly cooperating quickly. Keiran furrows his brows. Will talks to Keiran. He's like, you put your daggers on the floor. And Lauren's kind of like shaking, putting her things down. She like lifts her hands up very slowly, clearly. And Keiran takes his 2 daggers. Lauren turns to look at him, and then Keiran has a smile on his face. And you just know he's going to pull some trick. And indeed he does. He throws one of the daggers, I believe, straight past Will. Will has to duck pretty much. I don't know. Maybe, do you think he had to duck, or do you think it was just perfect?
I think Keiran's got good aim. I don't know if we'll have to duck.
Yeah, in episode 70, Keiran was, showing off his knife throwing skills, right? So I guess this is the payoff for that scene. However, Keiran was still in a lot of physical pain starting off the night, and we know that he wasn't able to throw straight like a couple days ago. So now I'm like, what happened? And I think that's kind of one of my bigger issues with this arc right now is that I don't feel like there's good continuity, nor do I think it kind of like flows really well, because especially at the end here, it's basically the same cliffhanger as last week. And I'm getting a little annoyed with this because it's the same thing every week. I don't feel like I feel like this episode was almost completely filler that could have been, this episode and last week's episode should have just been like pushed together. I didn't need to see this 2 times, but especially like Keiran, my dude was having a hard time climbing down an elevator. How is he doing this without any pain or discomfort whatsoever?
I think my reasoning for why Keiran can do it kind of a little better now is because his blood is pumping. He's got a little bit of adrenaline in him now, especially since the promise that he made to Lauren that he wouldn't get his coworkers hurt. So I think he's just a little more attentive. That doesn't mean that, he should be the perfect like Purple Hyacinth that we've seen him be before. So on that note, yeah, I do agree. Like there is a little bit of like that back and forth that isn't as clear to us. Like if we saw Keiran not only smile but look a little scared as he threw the knife, that might have made it flow a little more easier for me.
Yeah, I typically don't like to be critical on the podcast because I just want to be a positive person, and I don't want to be hurtful to any authors, but I do have to agree, like it is basically the same story as last time. And I also do feel like we were set up that, Keiran is in physical pain. We see him sweating, and Lauren's like, oh, is he going to be okay? So I was certain that would play a role in the upcoming arc, that he would get hurt or injured because he would fall behind, and there would be like a plot like, oh, do I go back for him? I thought there would be a payoff and that it was leading to somewhere, and I don't see it yet. Maybe it'll still happen, but I agree that it does seem a little out of place for him to now be completely back to his physical prowess. But who knows,
Yeah.
maybe lapse.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll get
assuming-
like go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. I'm assuming it'll come back in the finale or the mid-season finale, but I think it's like if it finally like comes back, then it should have been like, continue throughout these episodes here, because like it's gonna be really weird if like suddenly out of nowhere he's suffering again or in discomfort again when he hasn't shown that for like what, 4 episodes now?
Yeah. No,
And
that's
then
fair.
yeah. And then also I just feel like the twists in this current arc just don't have any payoff. Like, we saw what episode 94, I think, like when they were trying to contact the police and they were like, oh no, they didn't actually hear it. What are they gonna do? And then we started off the next episode and they're like, we already know the location. No worries. They're like, what was that? That was supposed to be a big point of conflict because that was what the cliffhanger was about. And then, we have this arrest. We have the cliffhanger from last week, and it's
Last
like
week, yeah.
they're like, put your hands in the air, you're arrested, and now they're just running away. Like, what? I don't remember what the other cliffhangers were. It's all mushing together in my brain.
Yeah.
I can check actually.
And also the whole bit with the weather, I was sure that it would be, it would block their communication, they would be alone, they would be isolated, they would deal with the phantom side on their own. And the whole part with March on the roof, I was sure there was like, he was gonna get thrown off the roof. The guy was a spy, Herman was interfering, like, and those threads are not finished. And yeah, maybe they will be, maybe they still are, like elements of a plot, or maybe they were just, part of the developed story, the regular details, and we've been over analyzing things.
Mhm.
I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's like
Also, I
the
guess,
difference between reading it weekly on a binge. I wonder how this arc will be on a binge. Will it have the same consistencies or inconsistencies that we see with the pacing, or will it flow a little smoother? And to be honest, we won't know until the arc fully concludes, right? Because there's a lot of
Yeah.
threads that are still up in the air that have taken a while to fill. But again, Purple Hyacinth is a very slow, like moving story, right? Like only recently do we get the tie-in to the thread of the forger that was set up at the beginning of season 2. So I mean, since we don't really know where the end of this mid-season is heading to, it's hard for us to kind of like justify like how many panels do we have left before then, and can everything be addressed by then? It's a little hard
Mhm.
to justify that.
Yeah.
Good point.
So I'm going back and I'm trying to check like what was the ending
Mhm.
of all these episodes. And for, I believe, 97, it was the kill them all moment.
Okay.
And I guess like I wasn't expecting, like there was a lot of weight that was hung on that. And so I guess like I was expecting one of them to get shot, though I don't really have any complaints, like because none of them did. They obviously were able to take them out, even though it was trained people and for people against 30. I mean, suspension of disbelief, right?
Yeah.
But then we got a moment that's really similar to the ending of 98. And remember, 98 has a really similar ending to 99. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, 3 times. We've done this 3 times now. And that is the ending of 96, where it's Kim and Lauren. They're both up in each other's faces at the end, and Lauren has almost punched Kim.
Yeah.
So, but then in 97, what they do is, they face off, like they separate, face off, okay? And then Will points a gun at Lune. Lune has their hands up in the air. And then Lune runs from Kim and Will. And although although Lune they're guiding Kim and Will right now, and they're like, showing them, they're trying to like show them where the nitro is.
Mhm.
What I've described is kind of the same as the beginning of this episode and the ending of the last episode. Like that is almost the same. We've got Will with a gun, we've got Lune with their hands up, we've got Lune running from Soleil, and then we have Soleil chasing them.
Yeah.
It's the same thing over again, and it's getting a little repetitive.
And I think the highlight of 98 was the red lights that were used.
Mhm.
And it was played upon a little bit in this episode, but not to the same extent. So I wonder what 99's role will be to tie into 100 if it was, yeah.
Oh, maybe it's just as simple as they wanted 100 to be the finale because of the number 100. It's a nice clean number, so they just had to stretch it out. Maybe it's as simple as that.
But that makes season 2 actually 51 episodes instead of 50. The first season ended on 49, so I don't know.
That's true,
It might
yeah.
also be like the unevenness is getting to me, because with the prologue, season 1 is 50 episodes. However, now season 2 is 51, if not more episodes, and it just being like one off is hurting me.
I mean,
so
again, like this season 2 is not even halfway, right? So we know that it's going probably closer to like what, 100 chapters or something. Definitely something that I didn't expect going into season 2. But since they made it ambiguous enough, like, we're just rolling with it. But I think it's really hard to plot. Like, even if you have the plotting, like I know Soph and F have the entire story like in their minds, but planning it on a week-to-week basis, especially moving plot points around and making sure everything flows, it's hard to keep like that number consistency, right? Like, I mean, obviously it would be nice if it ended at like 50 chapters for this first half, but I mean, one extra chapter isn't gonna really change much I hope in the grand scheme of things, but again, we won't know for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of ending on 100, even if it's 51. It just seems neater.
Yeah, that 3 digits is nice.
Overall, like binging it when we come back, it probably won't be as noticeable to us. However, like reading it week to week, it is, because we're waiting so long only to get the same thing.
Oh no, of course, yeah.
I do think I would agree that like when we come back to reread this, it's gonna go by much faster and we probably won't even notice it. But I do remember, I will say, like, because we're talking about the episodes and like pacing them, I do remember a while back I was thinking that we could have used another like Lauren and Keiran episode, and I think that if this episode was condensed with episode 98, then we could have had space for another Kim Keiran bonding episode. But honestly, like, it doesn't really matter.
No, that's fair.
So anywho, the dagger narrowly avoids Will's face, and Lune escapes again. And while they run out of the way, they also knock down the pile of boxes there, which thankfully is not filled with nitroglycerin.
Yeah.
And while Will and Kim are trying to avoid the falling boxes, they yell, "Hey," and Lune escapes. Will says, and they run after them. He says, "Freeze," and they're running again. And then Lauren says to Keiran, "Hey, Keiran, try not to kill my friends next time." And Kieran's like, "Wow, thank you, Keiran, for stopping us from being arrested. But of course you're welcome. That's what partners do." I would react exactly like Keiran. I love Kieran's response. It's like, yeah, show some appreciation, dude. Do that.
I can't believe like this dude is like throwing knives at his own colleagues as well and calling it like, a normal Tuesday evening. Like, damn, okay.
What would you do, Fwoot? How would you get out of that situation?
Honestly, probably what he would do if I was able to throw knives. If I threw knives, I would probably end up setting off the nitroglycerin, which doesn't make sense, but I would find a way to do it.
I mean, I was throwing some frisbees this past weekend and I got one over the fence. So if I had some knives, like, I don't got good aim, so I wouldn't trust myself with this, especially the expert that Keiran is. You know, he has the skills to back it up.
But I like it, you know, I like also because it's obviously part of his joking manner, but it also does show some closeness between them where he has expectations. You know, an unhealthy relationship is where one partner walks all over the other one. Like there are people who have that dynamic where one partner just does anything they want and the other partner takes it. And Kieran's like, no, like you should, you know, show some appreciation for what I did. So I appreciate that he is expecting that he's expecting, you know, an equal level of reciprocity, and you know, he's not letting her get away with just being negative towards him.
Definitely.
And then he says, don't worry, if I was actually trying to kill him, he would be dead by now, which is true. And he's laughing. And now, Inspirational, you can go ahead.
All right. So, okay, so they're actually splitting up. So it seems that they're both trying to move away from the bombs as much as possible, which obviously is a you know, an important thing to have. They want to move as far away as possible, but that's okay.
Yeah,
and then we move on. What was that?
Oh, sorry. Especially, I was gonna say, especially since Kim and Will seem a bit trigger happy right now, with how many times they pulled a gun out on Lune so far.
You know, they're saying freeze multiple times. They have their guns open. Like if that ricochets anywhere, you know, it's not looking good for any of the ones here, even the ones that they knocked out earlier, the guards itself. So we have.
I'm wondering if the guards will ever wake up.
I don't know. They might just end up getting arrested when the rest of the APD comes in, right? I don't see the guards, maybe the mustache dude and like one other guy getting away, but I don't know. Do you guys think all of them will end up getting away at the end of this?
I could see one of them getting away and that being like a really big problem, because like maybe that one person has like a lot of information or something, and then they're gonna like, but I can also see the other like 19 to 29 people getting Capri-Sunned, because if this
Exactly.
is the 7th operation and Bella is working with 7 while also working for the leader, like, oh yeah, they're gone, they're dead. Like 7's not going to risk anything. They're going to have to die. They're not, because if not, they're going to be giving information to the police, and that's just not good for either leader or 7.
For their own sake, I hope they get arrested then.
And then so we have them split up. So we have Kim going after Lauren, and we have Will going after Keiran. And it looks like we're not really getting much of Will and Keiran this episode. This is going to be focused on Kim and Lauren. So Kim and Lauren are chasing back and forth.
Like the fact that they're splitting up, I thought it was like a bad idea. Like, what's the guarantee that you're going to end up together? What's your plan for, I mean, okay, meet me at the front, vague.
Yeah, it's really vague, right? Like, I don't know how, I mean, it was a spur of the moment thing, right? I mean, they were held at gunpoint, so I get that they can't really plan things out that effectively, but I don't know.
I mean, it's Lauren and Keiran working together. They hold half a brain cell between them. I don't. This is how they work. And it usually it will kind of work out in some form or way.
Yeah.
But I also think that it would have been good for Lauren to stick with Keiran, especially if there was a 50% chance that Kim would follow her, because she would need Kieran's backup in that case, because Kim is determined on finding out who she is, but Lauren does not want that, and she could really use Kieran's help.
And it's actually really interesting how just in this last few episodes that Kim is the one that's being real like forward and gung-ho about it, because with all the setup that we had, we would think that Will would actually be the one to do it because he has, you know, familial motivation to find out who Lune is. But Kim, obviously suspecting who she thinks Lune is really putting it under the pressure because she wants to be wrong. She doesn't want this to be Lauren as much as possible.
Yeah, we were shocked. We had all thought that Kim would be okay with Lauren being Lune. We were like, oh yeah, she'll totally understand. We were just shocked when she arrested her last time.
I was honestly excited.
Yeah.
Like I was waiting like for last episode. Like I was reading the entire episode and I was just like, no, this can't, no, like Kim has to do something, no, they can't work together. And then when we got to the end, I was like jumping up and down. I was hyped. Like, because this is exactly how I wanted it to play out. Like, I wanted Kim to do this move, and she did, and she nailed it.
Honestly, like my thoughts during this arc regarding Kim, it's like she's deciding to do her job at the absolutely worst moment possible. Like, what happened? What happened to not doing her paperwork? Could you like just please, for my sake, I need her to defy this order from Herman. Like, what happened to
Based
no
on the-
paperwork?
Yeah, I think though, based on the content of the last couple episodes, that Kim seems to be spurred by a feeling of betrayal
Yeah,
from Lauren.
this is personal for her, so it makes sense that she would be more motivated in this case, where it's like, you know, paperwork, it's just paperwork. But yeah, like I was also surprised by like how determined Kim became to find out Lune's identities, because to me she always seemed supportive of letting Lune operate like on their own, because you know they were good at what they were doing.
Yep.
So I would have thought that her knowing that Lune's identity is being revealed would be a major setback for them, and also put them under risk of, you know, PS assassinations or interrogation or torture. Like, Lune really can't share their identities to anyone because it puts them and the people they care about at risk. And so, like, you know, I guess I thought Kim would think about that, but I also think that her actions right now are being spurred by something related to her past, or something that's like deeply like super important to her, because what she's doing right now, it's not really a bad thing as a character. Like, I'm not mad at Kim for being like this, but it is selfish on her part to try and expose Lune, even if it is her job. Like, because Kim right now, she's the one who has control in the field. Herman can't do anything regardless if Kim is successful or fails. So like, she is the one who can make decisions right now, even if she has orders. However, she is choosing something which is kind of selfish, which is, yeah, trying to expose Lune's identities, even though it would only actively harm Lune in the process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
I guess the feelings that overcome, you know, the reason.
And I say selfish because she's doing it for her own sake, which, yeah, I guess makes sense, and it's understandable where she's coming from, but just, it is a selfish decision on her part.
And I think it's interesting because even if it's super selfish, it's super on point on what an officer in the field should be doing in the situation, right?
Mhm.
Like, they should be going after Lune, because Lune is the biggest threat in this entire organization. Like, because they don't know what Lune is doing, even though they don't know much. Like, the APD doesn't know much about the Phantom site. They know even less about Lune.
Oh yeah.
And it's interesting. It's a really good dynamic, and I'm glad that our authors are taking this dynamic to this level.
Yeah, Lune is a complete wild card to the police. Like, you know, at one point Lune could be, you know, sharing for the police, like from the police's perspective. At one point Lune could be sharing perspective to the police, and at the next point they could be, you know, demanding ransom for information,
withholding information, you know, all sorts of stuff that obviously the APD doesn't stand for, so they can't really just let them run wild. That's the kind of issue with vigilanting and vigilantes in general.
And
it's hard to keep them under control.
Lune operates completely outside of the law. Lune, like, you know, when Lune is tying up people to interrogate them, that's like, these people haven't been arrested, right? They don't have
any
a
due
lawyer
process or any of that.
They don't, although they eventually go to court. When they are arrested by the police, they haven't gone through an actual due process of the law, which, I mean, even though we know that the Lune convicts are guilty, they still deserve fair trial before, like, you know, being
being hunted
subject
down
to whatever
essentially.
Lune was subjecting them to.
Yeah.
And also, like, just imagine being a police, you know, trying to arrest 𝗫𝘀𝗽𝗍, and a couple rooftops over, there are corpses with blood spilling down from the roofs. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, just being a police in the area, and then like you see stuff dripping down from the roof and it's blood. Like, oh my God, you must be terrified. And you would think it's Lune because of how close in proximity it was to the 𝗫𝘀𝗽𝗍 arrest. So like, it makes sense for the police to want them in custody.
Definitely.
Mhm.
All right.
But
So
I think also, sorry, I
ahead.
think also these concerns aren't Kim's concern and why she's arresting
no, definitely
Lune,
not.
which is why her decision to expose their identities is
Very selfish. Yeah. In that nature. Exactly. So we have Kim chasing after Lauren again. That's kind of the trend of this little section of the chapter, but we get a little bit of the red lights of the factory flashing in and out as we go through these panels. Kim kind of has this upper advantage as Lauren is running on the ground floor, and Kim makes the jump. She jumps right on top of Lauren. She dives right on top of her, and it's this crazy shot. Well, Kim, we know how ballistic Kim can be, so this kind of move is perfect. And I love Lauren's line. Now you decide to use the parkour tricks that I taught you. Like, what? That was
like
so funny to me.
this entire episode is Lauren not being able to catch a break. Like, she's just getting like annoyed the entire time. Like, she's getting like, now you're deciding to use the parkour tricks, and later on it's like, it wasn't even my idea, it was Keiran. But like, she's just getting ganged up right now on
And it's cool
multiple
because
times. This is a horrible night for her.
it's cool because this kind of like back and forth between Kim and Lauren has been set up throughout, right? Every time Kim says something like snarky or smart, like, oh, like the Phantom Scythe is probably this, and then Lauren's like, yeah, you're too smart for your own good, Kim, like, stop doing this. This is the same like pattern as that, and it's really cool to see that kind of continuity for it.
Yeah.
All right, so Kim is on top of Lauren right now in a very aggressive way, not in a playful way. Even though Lauren isn't just sitting down and trying to take it, she goes for a hit. She goes for it, even though Kim's going, oh yeah, that was pretty cool. Like my jump was pretty awesome. Like I can't complain about it. And Lauren gets off. She does I think it's a cartwheel, a backflip. I don't know. It looked pretty cool, but either one. And they continue to exchange things. And Kim again has her little snarky moment. Are you usually this rude? I don't know if she was actually referring to Lauren herself or referring to Lune in this case. Like, who is she saying is usually this rude?
I guess
you could say for
Lune
both.
member, yeah, I guess in this moment she's talking about Lauren, I say, because later on she says interrupting people while they're talking.
Yeah, in the
And I
next
guess
panel.
like, yeah, I guess it could be referring to both Lune members, because they've like just constantly dipped every time they've been arrested, and Kim's like, oh my God, why are you, oh my God, so rude.
And it works that this isn't a lie.
It's not
because
actually like that, but like, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Kim actually talks like that, but yeah.
Mhm.
And then Lauren continues, she's like, come on, like, you jumped on me and now you're calling me rude. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm like, Kim, why are you complaining right now? You have nothing to lose in this moment, right? The other guards have been taken out. Lune has everything to lose right now. If they are exposed and the police find out, and then a PS spy finds out, Lune is essentially like, they have to go into hiding. If not, they're assassinated, right? Their work is going to be monitored by the police because, you know, it has to be legal, which honestly I don't think is too bad, but it just depends how it's played out, because like, it's Lune not being subject to the law in any way, shape, or form is questionable, and I personally think they should, but you know, there are more important things to worry about right now.
I mean, that's if like Lune actually gets captured here, which I don't think they will, but it really depends on the outcome of that.
I swear, if episode 10 ends with them like, Lune, you're arrested, that's gonna be like the 4th time in the final straw for me. Like, you guys couldn't do this earlier, huh? You had to make me wait 6 weeks. But
And then we get this nice usage of the environment, right? Because Lauren is dodging, but she's also going down the crates, trying to avoid Kim. And while Lauren is, dodging these moves, she's giving up her height advantage. And that's where Kim strikes again with her little kicks. And again, we see this red light used to show just how honestly furious Kim is at this whole situation. And I think the kick with I guess it's a double kick, the Fwoot that was kind of going with it. It was a really nice panel for me. And then Lauren trips.
Oh,
and Kim takes advantage of that.
At this point, by the way, right?
Oh,
a little bit later.
Yes.
Man,
Why aren't you fighting back?
that kick panel, gorgeous, literally immaculate. I love it to death. Yeah, so sorry, am I picking it up right now?
Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, Kim rushes Lauren and she says, why aren't you fighting back? And she's yelling it. And I think that, and she says, do you want to be arrested? And she goes in to punch Lauren's face. And I think Kim is just getting really frustrated right now because she has been so close to figuring out who Lune is like this entire night, and constantly they are averting being exposed. And Kim, I feel like when she's fighting Lauren in the scene, she's taking out some of her anger and she's mad when it doesn't fight back, which is why aren't you fighting back? Because she would expect resistance, but this Lune person isn't even trying to fight her, even though Kim is trying to arrest them. And this Lune person again has everything to lose, whereas Kim doesn't. So Kim, I guess it's just like she's mad and she's expecting her anger to be, I guess,
to be matched, right? She's frustrated.
And she's expecting her, I guess she's expecting her anger and determination to be met and, mirrored in this Lune person, but this Lune person isn't. They're just trying to run from her and she wants to face them, but she can't.
Yeah, I think that's very, very well said. Also the punch, first of all, parallels like the pointing the gun, and it's kind of payback for when Lauren almost punched her.
So Kim's like, wait, why? And she ducks below the punch.
I think
back.
Lauren said that.
Yeah.
Lauren thinks that.
Yeah. Sorry, Lauren says.
Yeah,
wait,
Lauren is
my bad. And then Lauren is moving backwards at this point. She's walking. She's like trying to speed walk backwards. Kim is, pushing her backwards, and Lauren grabs Kim's fist. So she hadn't punched yet. Lauren grabs Kim's fist, and she just throws it down. She grabs it and then moves her arm down in a way where Kim is kind of twisted towards the ground, and then when Kim's back is lower, Lauren comes in with her elbow, and then her fists clenched, and then her fists one over the other and knocks the air out of Kim's diaphragm. And Kim says, we get this beautiful panel, this amazing panel where it's framed where Lauren is falling towards us, but we see Kim through her legs. This composition, oh my god,
it's clean.
I love it. True love is this one panel, and Kim says, haha, that's more like it, and we see her speaking from under Lauren's legs.
So it's sad because Lauren finally was forced to fight her, and then she just tries to run away again. She doesn't want to do this.
She doesn't want to hurt Kim. And so Kim says, haha, that's more like it. and Lauren is on the run again with Kim chasing her. Kim is still holding a gun. Like, girl, if you want a confrontation and you want to talk to
You
this
should just
person,
fire.
holding a gun to their forehead is not it. Kim says, but you should know I'm not that easy. And then Lauren is just, she's so,
She's done.
she seems tired to me. Like, this girl needs a break. She says, as she's running, she's thinking to herself, excuse me if beating up my best friend wasn't on my schedule today.
Poor girl.
So, Kim in the hallway. Oh, Lauren's actually running up the stairs. I hadn't noticed that. Kim grabs the bucket at the bottom of the stairs as she rushes up, and she throws them at Lauren and saying, since you seem to like buckets so much.
Oh.
And I think, yes, it was, and that is a callback to when Kim and Will found the guards, like, with a
Knocked
bucket
out.
on their head.
Yeah.
And Lauren narrowly misses the bucket as she turns the corner. And she thinks to herself, that was Kieran's idea. Like, Lauren doesn't deserve this. I wish Kim was taking this out on Kieran, since Kieran led them into this mess with the whole bucket. Like, let Kim throw a bucket at Kieran's head, not Lauren.
Probably enjoy it also. Also, it was totally Kieran's idea. Kieran, the drama king, you know, with his eye for humor, for sure.
For sure.
Yes. So Lauren turns, I guess, this pole, it seems like this column. She turns it, and then Kim's running behind her. Yeah. So around this pole, it seems like Lauren tries to kick or punch Kim. Oh, no, she disarms Kim, actually, somehow. So the gun is out of Kim's hand, and Kim blocks, like, putting her arms in a cross. So, yeah. Like, Lauren's standing on the ramp of the stairs. It's horribly described. No one's going to be able to imagine this in their head if they're not reading the episode. So, yeah, the gun falls to the ground, and Kim is holding Lauren's leg, fist, elbow, arm, who knows at this point. And she says, sorry, kicks don't work on me. You see. And she flips Lauren over. So yes, it was her leg. She flips Lauren over. You see. And Lauren's like, does she? And Lauren slams to the ground. And Kim says, Kim gets over Lauren and lifts her hand in the air as if to, like, pull down the mask, like Lune's mask.
It looks like
Very
she had a pincher,
dramatically.
actually, for the first part.
Kim, so, like, Kim is straddled over Lauren, like, and Lauren has nowhere to go this time. She says, she says, you see, I have this friend who uses them a little too much. And Kim, we see this panel of Kim's hand reaching towards Lauren, and she says, please tell me I'm wrong. And we get this panel with Kim, and her eyes are darkened and we can't actually see them. And we see Lauren's eyes and the hand reaching towards her, and she is terrified in this moment. And that is how the episode ends.
These last two panels were really clean. I like that you pointed out that her eyes aren't shown through the mask, because I don't think she wants to see right. She doesn't want to be right. That's the sad part. She doesn't want to be right.
And it's ironic, though, right? Because the masks are supposed to remove individuality from police, and it's supposed to remove bias or, emotions, but it really, really doesn't.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Sad ending. Okay, now there's no way that next episode can open up with another escape. Just can't.
Yeah,
If they do, I'm throwing my phone. Like, I'm literally like, the window is kind of far from my bed, which is like usually where, like, I'll read PH. But that window, I can chuck a phone out of it.
No, it's gonna be like a Naruto. We're gonna get another mask. Like, There's Lauren's got another one under there.
Yeah,
Double masking.
Lauren's taking
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, Lauren's taking the COVID precautions seriously. She has like 2 masks under there, like, you know, just to be safe. She's gonna be, you know, near Keiran a lot, so she doesn't want to accidentally give him COVID or
Exactly.
Spanish flu or whatever is the new epidemic in Ardhalis right now.
Okay, so we can now do that whole prediction thing that you guys were doing before we started recording.
Yes. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen next chapter. I have no idea if Kim will actually find out. If it's Lauren, I want to say she doesn't, but I really don't see a way out of this, unless, you know, another bucket comes up or something happens.
Yeah, I think at this point I would be pretty annoyed if Kim didn't figure it out,
Because
like by now.
the ramifications are, if Kim figures out, what would happen next? Like, Lauren can't go to work anymore, right?
Well, does Kim tell Herman?
Right.
Do you think she'll tell her? I mean, she was listening to Herman's orders, even though Herman has no control over what's going on right now. Do you think she would actually tell Herman?
I don't know.
Because the thing she's doing right now, she's trying to figure it out for her own, like, out of her own necessity. Like, she's not doing it because of her job. She's doing it because Lauren is her friend, and Lauren was lying to her. Or, well, she wasn't lying to her. She just never told her. Because Lauren never explicitly told Kim.
Yeah.
Okay,
She did exactly what is done to Lauren. She just omitted the truth, omitted the lies. You know, she just said specific things that were true.
Before I forget about it, I really like the detail where Kim's like, you see, I have this friend who uses this a little too much, like talking about the kicks. And I can't really remember all the fight scenes that have happened up to this point, but I do remember in, you know, the first standoff between Lauren and Keiran, Lauren literally like kicked him in the face, I think. Or was it Keiran? But I think she like kicked him at some point or tried to kick him. But then Keiran like literally kicked her mask off. So between Lune, kicking is a very common fight tactic. But yeah, sorry. That was just something I wanted to get out before I forgot.
I mean, the thing is, like, I don't pay attention to fights that often. So I'm sure Lauren always starts off with a kick. I probably have to reread like some of the fights. I think what are the big fights in the series? It's their first encounter.
Yeah, that is one of the, like, it lasts like an episode.
Yeah.
So, and
are
it's
there
also
any
like
other big ones?
maybe like the one where
They
they catch
arrest
the thief.
Yeah,
where they
the
arrest the
thief
thief.
in 24. Okay.
Yeah, because that was very choreographed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's
Between like Will and Lauren, and then
is it the cave
there
or
was
more-
Keiran. There was Keiran and Bella fighting in 72. There was also the rooftop fight, right?
With Blakesley. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lauren and Keiran spar in the cave when they have their conversation. It's like 14.
Oh, true. After the deal. Yeah.
Was there anything in the 80s arc? I don't think there was.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and then the biggest fight of them all was Keiran throwing the sandwich at that poor radio receiver guy. Like,
honestly, the
never
first
left
time
my
I saw
mind
that
since.
sandwich, I thought of Lauren at the party.
That's the sandwich. Yeah, I think we mentioned it on the podcast. We're like, Lauren, go pick that sandwich up off the floor. Go eat it. You're hungry.
Exactly.
Lauren actually, Lauren hasn't eaten anything since season 2. So, yeah,
She's had some
Lauren is
water.
Probably,
At the New Year's
Oh my
party,
god.
at the bar, S&E
Rip
bar.
Lauren. Yeah. Oh my god. Lauren is starving. She's malnourished, and now she has to deal with Keiran now on a daily basis.
Yeah, she's probably gonna get a head injury at the end of this arc too. Let's be real. If she hasn't gotten one already.
I really hope. Oh my god, I swear. I don't think I'll also be able to deal with another investigation on Lauren, because we already had that in this season.
Yeah.
Like, we had her being suspect for the 𝗫𝗃 murder. And so like if she was put under police like, you know, police watch again, it would just be repetitive.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm like noticing all these things now. I feel
I
kind of
think-
bad because I don't like being hypocrite. It's not hypocrite. I don't like being critical of PH either, but like there is some stuff that is being repeated and I'm not sure I like it.
I think the way that this might go, if Kim does fully find out next chapter, is it'll be more so just Kim being annoying around Lauren, like outside of work. And it'll be a very like,
Yeah.
it'll start off playful because that's just how Kim is, but it'll be a very informal, not related to the police investigation on Lauren, like every minute of the day. Like we know that Kim likes jumping through windows, so I'm sure she'll pop up into Lauren's house again through that method.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think after, I don't see Kim telling Herman because Kim would know the ramifications of what would happen if Herman found out like Lune is done for. Just they're dead.
Would she tell Will if these pairs don't meet up?
That's what I was gonna say, because remember in episode 63 when Will was saying how like he would arrest them or something like that, along the lines of that. This is why Kim had to be the one chasing after Lauren, because Kieran's fine. Like he can get out of situations like this. He probably has gotten out of situations like this before, being in the Phantom site, but this is still pretty new for Lauren. Usually she's the one chasing, not the one being chased. So Kim is more likely to figure out at least one of the Lune identities rather than Will finding out one of them. So
And that's like that's the trick of the dialogue in this chapter, right? Kim asks, "Do you want to be arrested?" Not, "We're here to arrest you."
Right.
And that's why it plays into not a lie, because obviously we don't think that I don't think that Kim will actually want to arrest Lauren, but she'll want to arrest Lune, and that's why we haven't had a lie in a while, right? So
yeah, well, we had like Kim saying how it was like a fun night, I guess, but it wasn't that big of a lie. But yeah, I would definitely agree with what you're thinking over how Kim's gonna take it. Like I think she'll be kind of bitter for like a little bit, but once she knows, I don't see her telling Will. Like it's gonna be between Kim and Lauren, and then Kim's smart. She's gonna figure out that Keiran and Lauren aren't actually dating.
Yeah.
And she's gonna realize, yeah, she's gonna connect the dots and be like, oh my god, he is the other Lune person. Especially like, remember when Kim made that really offhand comment about how Keiran would make like a good officer? She's gonna put two and two together and be like,
I don't think it was Kim. I think it was just the random girls flocking around Keiran.
No, but I think there was really, I think it was like earlier in the episode how Kim asked Keiran if he was good with a gun and he said no.
Right.
It was episode 50. So yeah, Kim's gonna be like, Kieran's abnormally fit for someone who just stands around in a dusty archives.
An archivist.
Yeah, like
archivist with
the
combat abilities
weren't that ripped. Kim's gonna be like, yeah, this guy he's probably like trained, and that would make sense for him to be.
Because no one knows that the purple hyacinth is Lune yet, so
yeah,
there's at least that separation for Keiran.
Yeah, Keiran can probably get away without being found out as the PH yet, but probably
unless he got some flowers tucked away. I mean,
yeah,
tucked away just in case.
He always has them on hand.
Yeah, just like, just stuffed into the pockets of his coat or whatever, like under. It's they're locked. Like he has locked pockets.
He's got a
just
lot
in
of
case.
pockets.
But yeah, Keiran will be found out as the PH yet. So But this means that Kim is probably gonna lie to Will. Like Will's gonna be like, "Did you figure out who it was?" And Kim was like, "No, they got away." And that's gonna be a lie parallel to the lie Lauren tells in episode
6
4
or
or 5.
the beginning ones. Yeah.
Or I think, where Kim's,
How many times do I have to lie to them? Like right before that
Mhm.
moment. Yeah.
And
So
do you think
yeah,
do you
go
think
ahead.
Kim is gonna say that it was a dude? Like,
No, they can't say that because of Lady A and the amount of times that them as Soleil have kind of deciphered that it's one female and one male.
mhm.
I don't know if they take Lady A seriously. I mean, they probably should. We think she's super suspicious, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know if they take her seriously.
Yeah, because it was all theory up to this point.
Mhm.
Kim could very well just say that like it's a guy, but he's feminine, or
Yeah.
just shorter,
Like
skinnier,
a smaller build. Yeah.
longer hair, but it was a guy. She could just say that it was a guy,
And
because
that
that
would be really
completely
telling for us as readers if she
Yeah.
does say that, right?
and it would just completely remove any suspicion of Lauren at that point, because they have an officer who confirmed it.
Mhm. So how much of 100 do you think will be Will and Kieran's fight?
Not much, like 10% maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Right.
not a lot.
Because like their dynamic isn't as obviously as fleshed out as Kim and Lauren's, which is why we
Mhm.
had such a huge part of this chapter focused on this
Yeah.
important dynamic between friends, while
Yeah.
Will and Kieran are at best just colleagues.
Also because
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Continue. Kim's relationship with Lune and Kim's relationship with Lauren has gone more focused this season, and build up as well. Like, we had episode 63 that was Kim and Will talking about Lune, and they were just, discussing that whole subject. And then we have, episode 66 where it's Kim and Lauren talking. I don't think there's much in the 70s, but then we get some more moments in like in the 80s, I guess. So yeah, this season has been more focused on Kim and Lauren's relationship rather than Will and Kieran's, because Kieran, like, we know that he feels more out of place. So I can't see him really getting close to Will yet, though I can see him getting close to Kim once she figures out that he's part of Lune as well, because like
I'm sure she'll
Yeah.
want to tag along,
yeah.
even if they don't want her. I'm sure she'll want to.
Yes, very true.
Oh my god, like imagine Lune missions and then like Kim just pops up and she's like
Hey guys.
she catches up to them and she's like, "Hi, can I do anything for you guys?" And they're like, "Kim, you're gonna if they
Everything.
find you with us, you're literally gonna get fired."
Like knowing little sister.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So what are your final like one sentence predictions for what's going to happen next episode before we wrap up?
Confrontation.
Kieran throws second knife. I don't know.
But Mindy, I'm also wondering, like, do you think I think I might have to rule out the tunnel theory at this point, just like seeing how much more focus Kim and Lauren are getting. What would be interesting is if Kim finds out that Lauren is Lune and the two are stuck together in PS tunnels, but I don't think anyone's gonna end up in a tunnel right now.
I mean, it is a PS location, right? So
Yeah.
Kieran doesn't really know much of the tunnel, so there's a chance that there is a tunnel somewhere here.
Mhm.
Who knows?
But yeah, I can't see Kim and Lauren ending up in a tunnel anymore, because it would confirm Lauren's identity as Lune if Lune goes missing and then she's missing and no one knows where she is. And I think it's a little bit too early for that now, unfortunately. I have to cross off this favorite theory of mine as a failure.
It's okay.
There's still time, maybe not now, but in some other time in the future. I think the tunnel theory is good. So I'm guessing that it'll be a confrontation between Kim and Lauren, but that it'll be cut short by some outside force, whether it's the PS guards or the APD coming in or something blowing up. I think that it won't be like a full confrontation. It'll be like a beginning of it, like some kind of fight. And then there'll be some bigger external force that will force them to get a move on, escape, whatever, defend themselves. And it'll be in a way that it meets the bar graph of the high stress. So.
Yeah. Because I think for the next episode, I could see the mask being pulled off. Like that's how the episode starts, right? It doesn't start off. It might start off with like
I don't think
last few episodes, these last
I
few panels,
don't think it would start with the mask ripped off. Actually,
really?
yeah, I think it's gonna start with Will and
first.
Keiran.
Okay.
Oh,
They're gonna tease it a little bit, right? They're not gonna.
True. That's true. Oh. Yeah. Okay. So the mask will be ripped off whenever we jump to Kim and
Jump
Lauren.
back to it, yeah.
Yeah. And there's the panels, I can see them being white because just like how this episode is ending, where it's just white background, because there's nothing in the world except what's going on between these two characters. And I think we'll see Lauren's expression first without the mask, and then Kim's expression. And Kim is gonna look like heartbroken and kind of terrified, and then her expression is gonna harden, right? Because she was expecting this. And then
I know, I'm pretty sure Soph shared this expression on her Instagram, right? An Instagram story. This shot of Kim.
Oh, what was the
yeah,
shot?
I forgot about
super
that.
disgusted. She was like,
Disgusted. Oh,
like
okay.
that. So it could be used for this.
I actually want Kim to smile.
Yeah.
Like a half smirk.
Yeah.
Like, but you can see it in her eyes that it's different.
Yeah. I could see it like a disbelief, like it's a fake, it's not a genuine smile. She's like, verge of insanity smile almost, because like she's just gonna be doubting.
Yeah,
because from doubting her friend.
From what I remember from Soph's like expression, I don't think that exact expression would fit, unless I'm misremembering it. So I don't know.
I honestly, like, I don't remember anything that's been like teased at, so like I'm just going off pure prediction right now. So yeah, I can see like there's silence between them, and then Kim talks and she's like, she says something like, so it's true, you are Lune. And Lauren can't even say anything. Kim gets off her and Lauren stands up, and I don't know if Lauren will even actually address it. And I guess Kim would be like, why did you do it? And Lauren will probably say something like, oh, I had to, or whatever. But yeah,
I don't know if we'll, like it really depends on if we can get that much dialogue out of it, right? I don't think this is the right, if they find out, right, if Kim finds out, knowing the reasoning behind it isn't that important right now.
Yeah,
because that
she was asking questions earlier, which is why I think she might be asking questions after this. But like, I don't really see Lauren being super responsive after getting her mask ripped off, because like, you know, Lauren and Keiran had their priorities, right? They've kept those priorities pretty consistent, and that is like, you know, finding the nitro, getting rid of the nitro, getting the police to, you know, get control of the nitro so the PS don't have it. So Lune's motives have stayed pretty consistent. However, Soleil's motives have not, which is why Lauren isn't going to be responsive. She's still focused on the task at hand, and I think she'll feel hurt by Kim because of how much Kim was pushing her, and especially how Kim was like yelling at her in the last episode, right? Kim in last episode, I mean this episode. Kim flipped Lauren over, and I think Lauren's gonna be kind of mad about that and how like reactive Kim was with her. Like, although we understand where Kim was coming from, I think Lauren will also be feeling that betrayal a bit. just how excessive Kim was in force
mean,
towards her.
Is it
Because Kim
is it
was taking out
really
her anger.
is it really a betrayal if Kim doesn't know for sure?
Yeah.
Does that count as a betrayal?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't really know a better word. I guess like Lauren is gonna be mad about how much Kim was pushing for it, because like both Soleil and Lune are aware of the current bomb threat, but only Lune seems to be concerned about that bomb threat right now. And even
No,
though
yeah.
there is a backup team coming, them getting out of the building is more important, which is why Keiran tells Lauren, or is it Lauren tells Keiran? I don't remember. It's why
To go to the
Lune
front.
planned to meet at the front of the building so they could get outside, whereas Soleil is more preoccupied with trying to arrest Lune.
Well, we will see what happens next week and which prediction is correct. Thank you so much for coming on and for doing this. It was great as usual. And yeah, I thought it would be pretty short, but we did manage to discuss this at their usual length.
Yeah. Funnily enough, this might be one of my favorite recordings so far. Like, I really liked recording this one. There was a lot of stuff to discuss, like more than I was expecting.
Yeah, I thought it would be not much to discuss. That's all I've actually.
Well, thank you for having me. Of
Yeah,
course.
thank you for having us. I'm very excited for the finale.
Yes. Yes,
Whenever
yes,
that
and yes.
is. Is it next chapter? Is it 101?
101 PH episodes.
Suspense. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too. Have a good
Bye.
evening.
Peace.